It's Cut to the Chase Sports Podcast. We're going to talk about the best matchups on the NFL schedule this upcoming season. Let's get it.
ATL Jacob.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Cut to the Chase Sports Podcast, where we bring you unique insight and analysis behind your favorite teams at the collegiate and professional levels. I'm your host, Chase Yance. Alongside me, I got my co-host, Brady King. What's going on, Brady?
Not too much, man. Kind of an early recording, but it's still nonetheless should be fun. Ready to talk about some of the best matchups.
Yeah, you can tell by our voices we just got up for this one, but it should be a fun episode though. And then down below we got our special guest, actually more like a friend of the show now, Kaycee Sloan. Kaycee, thanks for coming back on.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, most definitely. What's been new with your world?
Oh, just trying to figure out everything with the Bucs and who's going to be their quarterback. They're in a tough spot.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on with that. So obviously you got the quarterback battle between Baker Mayfield and Kyle Trask, and if you've seen any of the obviously like us, if we've seen any of the videos on Twitter, Instagram, whatever with some of their passes, it's not looking too hot. Yeah, not looking too hot. What is your overall take on this whole thing? Obviously that's a big drop off from Tom Brady to the two quarterbacks just mentioned, but just what are your whole thoughts on the Bucs quarterbacks right now?
I mean, obviously it's really hard to go from Tom Brady. Like, you have Tom Brady lead you to a Super Bowl within his first year there to not having him. But honestly, I thought they were going to draft a quarterback. I thought that they would do that because they didn't. Only Kyle Trask was on the contract at that point, and then they got Baker, and he's only signed a 1-year contract. So even if he doesn't perform, I figured they would draft someone just to build them and mold them and stuff. But no, and they still haven't named who the starter is going to be. So I have no idea. I don't think they even really know.
Yeah, it's anybody's guess right now. I mean, it's crazy. I think the Bucs season opener, I mean, it's 100 days away. It's crazy. We're getting pretty close to that. So I mean, they're gonna have to make a decision on Kyle Trask, Baker Mayfield, go throughout training camp. Still a good amount of time before then. Obviously talking about they could have drafted a quarterback this year. Who knows? But next draft, Brady, if the Bucs were, in the cellar, depending on where they finish at, what quarterback do you think would want to go there, Brady?
Ooh, I feel like Quinn Ewers could be a Buck. He seems like a fit for him. I don't feel like I see Caleb Williams in that fit, and I'm not sure about Drake May either. But I could see Quinn. I could see Quinn in Tampa Bay. I could see him there for sure.
Yeah,
I don't think they'll finish at the complete bottom of the league to get either Drake or Caleb, but Quinn could be there at let's say they have the 10th overall pick or whatever it could be. That could be a good spot to take Quinn Ewers if he makes a jump. Yeah,
and again, I mean, it's not like the Bucs are far behind or anything like that. They won their division last year. I know they were 8-9, but it's a very winnable division overall.
Yeah, they're in a bad division. So
yes, they are. Both the AFC and NFC South are some bad divisions. So I mean, hopefully they got a shot with that. Those two divisions do play each other on the rotation of the schedule. Looking though, other than Tom Brady retiring, what were some of the other Bucs offseason moves that you didn't like? Just what were they?
I thought bringing on Dave Canales was kind of different. He's never called a game ever. Oh. So for him to be the OC, it's kind of, I don't know, up in the air, I guess. I don't know. Their whole offseason, I mean, they let go of so many veteran players, like Leonard Fournette, all these people. It was just really shocking to see.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot there. I mean, and they were talking about, I think they were talking about Devin White. He's still on the team, isn't he? Is he still on the team? Okay, I wasn't
he sure. Is. Yeah, they don't want to trade him. They don't. I mean, for obvious reasons, but I don't know how it's going to work out with him.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, there was, a lot of stuff here. I mean, they still have a, pretty good receiving core. So they got Mike Evans, the consistent 1,000-yard guy. Chris Godwin, he was, battling injuries out the entire season. But when he was on the field, he was, productive. And then they got some rotational guys in the slot overall. So, I mean, whoever starts in at quarterback, it's not like they're going to have, a bunch of scrubs to throw to. They're going to be
for sure
some 1,000-yard receivers and good players like that, and just a lot of change going on in Tampa, and a lot of uncertainty going up. What was something that you looked at on that Bucs schedule before we get into these national games? Something that you liked on the Bucs schedule.
God, I mean, not a lot. They did not give us a lot to work with. We only have 2 primetime games, but I don't know. I think I'm looking forward to the Bucs Eagles game, mainly because I'm really excited to see Jalen Hurts play against them. So.
Yeah, I mean, Monday Night Football. I mean, Jalen Hurts. Last time he was in Tampa, they got absolutely crushed in the playoffs. So, maybe time for him to get revenge. Maybe Baker Mayfield. Could Baker Mayfield or Kyle Trask, one of them could step up in the bright lights of prime time and try to get an early season win over the defending NFC champion Eagles. So last time you were on this show, we were talking about those ferocious Eagles and that defense. I mean, that was pretty scary stuff. We're going to kind of switch gears, though. We're going to talk some of the best matchups on this schedule, kind of categorize them overall. So first off, we're going to talk about the favorite night game on the schedule. Brady, I know you're a college football guy. Obviously, you're following up with the updates about, the new scheduling and all with the Big Ten. Games are being dropped each and every day. But if you had to put your NFL hat on, what's a good night game that you're looking forward to?
That's a tough one. I would probably say week 1 is the Jets and the what's it called?
The Bills, yeah.
Bills.
I know it's still early in the morning. You good?
The Jets and the Bills. I'm excited to see Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers go up against each other, and I'm excited to see. Obviously I'm a big fan of Garrett Wilson. I'm excited to see him in a role with Aaron Rodgers, and I think both of those teams are really good. That's a division that's a good division, as opposed to that's one of the better divisions in the NFL, in my opinion. So I think to watch, who the Bills have obviously underachieved in the playoffs the past couple of years, but I still think I'm really excited for both of these teams this year, and I think both could be really good. So that's a good game to show where those teams are at the beginning of the year, and I'm excited for that game. I've been looking at that game since I heard that it was happening, so I'm excited to see that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's I'm a little surprised they're playing it week 1, but I'm obviously ecstatic about it. I mean, they're going to play it on Monday Night Football. Monday night's football schedule has been it's a fantastic schedule this season. They actually have the most for any primetime game users. They have the most games on any primetime slate this season. They have more than NBC, more than Amazon Prime. So this is a great game to kick off for them. Kaycee, down to you. What's one of your favorite night games you're looking at?
I'm looking forward to the Bills-Bengals Sunday Night Football. I mean, everything last year with DeMar Hamlin and obviously going to the Super Bowl run, it's just that's going to be a really exciting game.
Yeah, can't wait for that one. I mean, obviously, they had like you said, Monday Night Football. They play in the divisional round. Putting them on Sunday Night Football. This is actually the first Sunday Night Football game in the regular season the Bengals have hosted since 2012 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So,
that's crazy.
that crowd's going to be jumping. Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth on the call. Cannot wait for that one. Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, 2 of probably the top 3 quarterbacks in the NFL going at it. And that actually was probably going to be my game on the list, but I'll take it a different gear. I think the best matchup in the league this year is Eagles Chiefs. Week 11, Monday Night Football, Super Bowl rematch. Not a whole lot needs to be said. The Eagles, coming off the Super Bowl loss, got better, which is a big surprise. I mean, they retooled their defensive line. They did lose a bunch of coordinators. I mean, that didn't help. Shane Steichen going to Indianapolis and Gannon going to Arizona. So I mean, that'll be different. But hopefully, Week 11, the Eagles will hit their stride, and it'll be a great Super Bowl rematch and Thanksgiving week. Favorite 425 game on the schedule? I'll throw it down to Kaycee.
I picked 2. My first one was the Bengals and 49ers because I'm curious about their quarterback situation. And then the Bills and Eagles because obviously it's the Bills and the Eagles, but it's also my birthday. So
oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's a week 12. I had to mention this. Week 12. There's a
Yeah.
great slate of games on there. Obviously, you got Thanksgiving weekend. You got your birthday there.
Yep.
Bills Jets, a great game. The Sunday night football game that week. I won't talk about that until a couple questions down. I don't want to foreshadow anything there, but that's a great game there. Bengals Niners. Like I said, just two teams that don't get to play each other a whole lot. Every 4 years they play. Out in the Bay Area, Burrow against the front four of the Niners, front seven of the Niners, if you would. So cannot wait to see what goes on week 8. Brady, what do you think of the 425 games?
Mine's probably either the Niners Bengals or the Bengals Chiefs. I would say if I had to pick one, I'd probably say the Niners Bengals. Honestly, I'm more because I've seen the Bengals Chiefs plenty of times. Like that's more of a common matchup, even though it's always a good game. So it's not like still it's good they're playing it, but definitely the Niners Bengals because it seems like an uncommon matchup. And again, like it's a team that's I would say has maybe the best defense in the NFL, or at least top 3, versus a team with again the same situation, top 3 offense in the NFL. So I think that's a great game. I'm excited to watch it for sure.
Yeah, I mean it's right toward the middle of the season, so both of these teams are maybe trying to hit their stride at that point. Both teams last year, they were around the time of the season in 2022, they were shuffling around 500. They were all right. They saw flashes of being good. They were, and then they were just inconsistent. And then both of these teams went on, I think, two or three of the longest winning streaks in the National Football League and rode all the way to the conference championship games. Obviously lost. This could have been the Super Bowl matchup the last 2 seasons if it was only for a couple plays and maybe a Brock Purdy injury that, kind of hurt things out there. For me, my favorite 425 game, I mean, it's right off the bat, not week 1, but week 2. The Jets play the Cowboys. Aaron Rodgers going down to Jerry's World, September 17th. Cannot wait for that. Garrett Wilson's going to be, catching a lot of passes from Aaron Rodgers this year. It'll be interesting to see Dak Prescott, the new look Cowboys. There's no Zeke down there. They got Brandon Cooks, Stephon Gilmore's a Cowboy. They did a lot of new stuff just to see in the Cowboys' first home game against Aaron Rodgers, who has taken the heart from Cowboys fans in the past, in the regular and postseason, in so many different ways. I'm super excited to see how that thing turns out. Looking at the holiday games, you've got Thanksgiving, Christmas, even throw a Black Friday game in there. Brady, what's one of your favorite holiday games you have circled?
I think I always look forward to the Lions on Thanksgiving and also the Cowboys.
Really, you do? You look forward to the Lions?
Yeah. The only reason, I know it sounds surprising, obviously, because the Lions are historically obviously terrible for us. But every Thanksgiving I just enjoy watching, especially when they had Megatron. I remember he had 40 fantasy points one weekend on my fantasy team. Yeah. But I've always been a fan of watching those Thanksgiving games because I'm just ready I'm honestly ready for Saturday at that point because the Ohio State game. And it's kind of like a warm up for that. Like you get to see the Lions so I would say really just both of those on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. I mean, obviously Detroit seeing what they're going to be able to do this year. How they finished last season. They get the kickoff game against the Chiefs, get a lot of primetime games, national television. So it'd be nice to see them. They play the Packers, Jordan Love. Actually, fun fact, I don't think this might be the only time 2 teams have ever played both of their matchups on a Thursday in the same season. I don't know how that happened, but there you go. And then the Cowboys Commanders, the Commanders always kind of have the Cowboys number in a way in some of those big games. The Cowboys just never seem to finish the job against a Washington team, I'll say, not the Commanders. They've only been around for like a year or 2. But Kaycee, what about you? What's one of your favorite holiday games?
I actually went with Black Friday, mainly because it's the first game ever. But I think the Jets and the Dolphins is also a good matchup. I'm excited to see Aaron Rodgers go against Tua and their defense. I'm really looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I mean, you look at hopefully Tua is healthy by then. If Tua is healthy by then, the Dolphins are going to be a really good football team, and this could be, I think obviously a lot of people are thinking, Dolphins, Jets, Bills. That could be a three-way battle for first place, kind of throwing New England to the side, and that's the first matchup of the season between the Dolphins and the Bills. So that'll be really fun to see. Obviously, you got the star receivers, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. You got Garrett Wilson on the other side. So a lot of good stuff going on there. Also another fun fact, we're just throwing tidbits and all this stuff out there. The Bengals actually asked the NFL if they could play on Black Friday every year going on the way out. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What they say? Did they say anything to it?
They obviously put that Jets Dolphins game there, but I'm assuming that next year it might kind of give the tip of the cap to the Bengals if they're still pretty good. Yeah, exactly. But they're, the Bengals kind of want it to be a tradition, kind of like how the Lions and Cowboys play on Thanksgiving.
Right.
So, I mean, maybe something goes on. I think that the Bengals play the Steelers that weekend, part of that huge weekend of football. Ohio State, Michigan that week, Bengals, Steelers the next day. Me and Brady will be going at it there. So, I mean, they were, if there was a game that they would have put on the slate, it probably would have been Steelers Bengals Black Friday. It would have been really interesting to look at.
Yeah, that would have been a good one.
Yeah, most definitely. Let's see the next thing. Favorite quarterback battle. Kaycee, favorite quarterback battle.
So if they're starting, I went with Bryce Young and CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm an Ohio State fan, so obviously I'm rooting for CJ Stroud. But the Panthers being in the NFC South, I think that they have a chance to maybe potentially win the division this year. So
yeah,
I think that'll be. But if they're not starting, then I'm going to go with the obvious choice in Burrow Mahomes. I mean, it's the rivalry now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, both two good choices there. I mean, hopefully at that point for the Texans and the Panthers, I mean, those guys are starting in the middle of the season. That'd be a great quarterback battle to see. Both guys going 1-2.
And they're friends.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
I just think it'll be a really good game between the two of them.
Most definitely. I mean, friendly gentleman's wager, play a great game, see what happens. I mean, that would be some good football there on week 8.
Yeah.
And then obviously the obvious choice of Burrow Mahomes. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. Mahomes versus any great quarterback. I mean, you can just fill it in there. Brady, over to you. What's one of your favorite quarterback battles?
I'd probably say the exact same order of the top two, really. Like, I can't – like, that's mine. Like, I'm excited to see Bryce Young and CJ Stroud, like, because, I want to see what both of them can do. And in terms of them starting, I feel like based off what I've heard that CJ Stroud's already taken the first-team reps away from Davis Mills over the past couple of days. Heard some things with Bryce Young struggling here and there, but I still think he'll be starting at that point of the season. And so I'm really excited for that one. And then obviously, Mahomes versus Burrow. I think that'd be obviously another really good game, like it usually is. And those are probably 1 and 2, the two best QBs in the NFL right now. So I think I would definitely go with those two as well.
Yeah, my take on that, I love both of those picks. I think it was a great spot to put Texans, Panthers on the schedule just in case, both of those guys aren't starting. Hopefully they'll be starting by that time in week 8, like you said, Brady, with CJ Stroud taking the first team reps over Davis Mills, an unproven commodity. And then, Bryce Young's going to, he's dealing with Andy Dalton, who's been around the league. He's played in the playoffs, with the Bengals, 5 straight years of depression, whatever you want to call it. So, I mean, but Andy Dalton's, he's been a proven quarterback to a sense to get a team to the playoffs. So Bryce Young's gonna have a, not more, not tougher competition, but he'll have a little more time to develop. And then Burrow Mahomes, I think the only thing with that was I kind of wish this game was maybe not week 17. I see what they're trying to do with this. Potentially, if both teams are really good or the best in the AFC, this game could decide home field advantage. I just wish this was, maybe like last year, week 13, early December, but who am I to pick a schedule? So, and then my favorite matchup, actually, I'll take a bit of a different approach. Lamar versus Herbert, week 12, Sunday Night Football. I think when we're looking at, the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL, a lot of people are saying, Justin Herbert, he's got a huge arm. He's a great quarterback, all this stuff. And, he's top 5. but he blew that lead against the Jacksonville Jaguars, a 27-0 lead. I'm not going to put the lead all on him. I'm going to put a lot of it on the coaching, but he was the quarterback in that game, and he could have made some different plays to, try to, hold off the Jaguars from coming back, in a team with Trevor Lawrence. But, Lamar Jackson, on the other hand, when he's played, he's been very good. He just doesn't get to December. He gets hurt. Yeah. He's not there when his team needs him later on in the season. This is around that point where Lamar Jackson, the last 2 years, this is normally would be his final game of the season before he unfortunately gets hurt. But, just seeing, and a lot of people are saying Lamar Jackson's a top 5 quarterback easily. So with these two battling it out, not going to say that this, will sway my opinion one way or another unless one person just completely outduels the other person. They're two different quarterbacks, but I'm really intrigued to see how that plays out with Lamar Jackson and Justin Herbert, two teams that, are also, projected to be second place in their division, trying to take down the Chiefs and Bengals in their respective divisions. It's a very big game for them, maybe for wild card seeding and all late in the season. So very excited about that.
Yeah, and they got Odell now, so it's going to be a little more throwing to Odell, so that'll be good to watch.
Yeah, exactly. They got Odell. They drafted Zay Flowers out of Boston College, and then on the other hand, I mean, the Chargers drafted basically another Mike Williams and Quentin Johnston, so from TCU. So they've all got some big wide receiver acquisitions. Brady, I do want to throw this. This is a random question out there, but other than Jackson Smith-Njigba, who I think is going to have a fantastic season, which of the three picked after him, being Flowers, Jordan Addison, Quentin Johnston, is set to excel in their new system this year?
I think that Zay Flowers probably has the best look in terms of him being like the number one receiver potentially on his team. He's got, unless you count Odell as still being, but let's be honest, he's not the same thing.
Yeah.
So I think that he's got the best chance of getting the most targets. But with Jordan Addison, he's got a situation where you've got another, one of the best receivers in the league as the wide receiver one on the team. So he can take a lot of those best corners away. And then Jordan Addison's got, the second best corner on him instead of, the number one. So he also is in I don't think it'll be Quentin Johnston is all I'll say, just because of the fact that he's so similar to Mike Williams. So if you're going to throw up a jump ball, Mike Williams is more proven right now. So he might take a minute to, get into that system. But I definitely think that I would go with Zay Flowers right now.
Yeah. I mean, these young receivers, it was just random, with the whole draft. I mean, starting at 20 with those 4 receivers in a row just didn't make a whole lot of sense. All those guys are on playoff teams right now, which is gonna, really fuel their offense, make things, pretty interesting. Cannot wait to see how all that turns out. And then favorite rematch. I think there's an obvious one to this one. I'll throw it out there. Bengals Chiefs. I don't even need to really say a whole lot with this.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. I want it. I want to take down the Chiefs so bad. Obviously,
on New Year's Eve too. Yeah.
Close out the year, beating the Chiefs, and maybe just maybe getting home field advantage for the playoffs if everything goes well, winning games and all that. That would be fantastic to see. So I got Bengals Chiefs. Yeah. Brady, who's yours?
Do the Chiefs and Eagles play this year?
Yeah, week 11.
I'll go with that because since it's a Super Bowl rematch, it's easy. I'll go with them just because there's not much else to say other than the two Super Bowl teams battling it out. See if the Eagles can get revenge. See if the Chiefs, can keep that advantage over the Eagles, and it'll really show you like in the middle/late season which team is looking better and which team has a better shot at the Super Bowl, because I'm assuming those are the 2 Super Bowl favorites again. Probably the top 2, and then probably the Bengals would be 3rd in Vegas is my guess, but I could not tell you with certainty because I haven't looked at that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you this though, a lot of people are still high riding the Bills. I mean, last year they were the off-season champs. I don't know what
they really are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that, but yeah, and then there's a bunch of other revenge games, rematch games, whatever you want to call it. You got the 49ers and Eagles play week 13 early December. That should be fun. whoever the Niners starting quarterback is at that point is going to be walking into an absolute fire in Philadelphia. So they're going to have to get ready for that. Devontae Adams is playing against the Packers Week 5 Monday Night Football out in Vegas. He's going to go against Jair Alexander. It should be a very fun matchup to watch in that. Obviously, Bengals Bills a rematch. Chiefs Jaguars Week 2 is a rematch. The Jaguars were pretty close to beating the Chiefs. That was the game where Mahomes was hobbled the entire game, but he was just able to pull off some Mahomes magic and get the victory there. Excited to see what Trevor Lawrence can do in year 2. They actually welcome the Chiefs. The Chiefs actually play like 2 1:00 games this year, or whatever. Like it's absurd. They're going to be in 4:25 prime time literally every single week. So deserved, but can't wait to see how all that turns out. Kind of toward the end of the show, anybody got any final things they want to put, agendas to push? Anybody?
I don't have anything.
I don't either.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, it's still pretty early morning. I might go take a nap. I'm not gonna lie. So, but yeah, Kaycee, thanks for hopping back on.
Yeah, no problem.
It's pretty fun. Definitely got to have you back on later on down the road and everything. Brady, thanks for getting up. I know it's as a high school graduate, I know, but yeah, this is Kaycee Sloan, Brady King, Chase Johnson. We'll see you guys next time.